All right, welcome. Today, for our cleanse class, we are going to talk about detox rituals. Okay, so those lovely little spa experiences, really, that we can do each and every day, but they take on more intentionality when we're doing the cleanse, right? So let's just start off in presence. I want you guys to each sit up nice and tall. We'll do a little mini version of one of these to get started. So sitting up tall, roll your shoulders back, be nice and straight with your spine. I want you to take a nice deep breath out. And then breathing in, take a nice deep cleansing breath in. And breathe out, let it go. Taking another deep breath in right from your root, right from your seat, all the way up the top of your head. And exhale, let it go. Breathing in, imagine you can just be cleaning your body all the way from the bottom up to the top. And then breathe out as you surrender, let go, and relax. Good. One more just normal breath there. And then gently open your eyes again if they're closed, coming back to center. Another aspect you can do, if you haven't had your hot water yet, you can always do that while we're chatting today. Make sure you have a little bit of citrus in that if you have it handy, or just simply the hot water is super good for us to do that as well. As one of those little mini detox rituals that we're going to embrace while we're going through here. Okay. So we have in our cleanse, we have 3 steps to the cleanse. Right? We have establishing our pathways. We have our actual cleanse portion of it. And then we have that replenish and restore aspect of it. So just before we dive into this, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we do on a continual basis. Whoops. Sorry, give me one moment. We're going to stop that for a moment. I did this last time too. I had advanced the slides to where we actually are. Whenever I hit go, it likes to go back to where we're there. Okay. Give me a second. There we go. I want to talk to you a little bit about what I am and what I love to do, how I love to help people, because what we're going to be doing through a cleanse process is what we do continually, or what I do with my clients on a kind of a yearly or annual basis, right? And I started off teaching these kind of like 10 little daily habits of Ayurveda. So some of them are cleanse rituals that we'll be talking about. Some of them are just simply lining up to circadian rhythm and things like that. And so what started off as this kind of like mini Ayurveda course ended up being this full-on, like full-year coaching program, because the people who started with me just did not ever want to leave. So we just kept going on this kind of month or kind of weekly call as we would get together and just support each other through our health, through our wellness growth on that. And it became my favorite part of the week is to get together with these ladies. And we just get together and share, and we talk about those next little steps of what we're going to do. So when we do a cleanse, it's like we're taking all of this. So this course that I taught actually just kept growing over time, kept getting more and more into it. So it became a little bit unwieldy as a course. So over the last few months, I guess probably since January. So when we started off the year, we did a word of the year program, and my word of the year ended up being clarity, is what I was looking for from this year. So through the last couple of months, I've been looking for that clarity as to how I can best serve the world. What's my purpose on this earth this time around? And through that process, I've actually unwound my course, right? So instead of having this big unwieldy course and everything that's going on through that, I've taken it back again to those individual little modules and kind of like a big resource library. So some of this resource library is available to anybody who's on our Flourish Essentials team. They get to our Flourish doTERRA team. They get to access to some of that, and some of it is used more by people where we go deeper into this. And so there is an opportunity for those who wish to step into that, is to come into a deeper program where we meet just like we're doing here this week. We don't meet once a once a day. We meet once a week, and we get together. We talk wellness. We share ideas, and I facilitate that. But everybody's there to share their wisdom and their guidance on that. And so we go into things a little bit deeper. So as we're talking about these different steps to our cleanse, I want you to, don't be overwhelmed by it all, because when we do the cleanse, it's almost like it's a little mini boot camp where we're throwing a lot of pieces into the pie. And those of you who've been on the cleanse before know that every day we have like a new little thing that we're adding in, but with that idea that we can let it go. Like not everything is for everybody at a particular time. As we share some of these different, ideas and rituals and things that you can do, then you can choose to take which ones that serve you and to let go of the others that don't serve you on that. Okay. So as we kind of step through this, I know that there is more. I know there's more support to going through this in that whole community aspect on that. Okay, so if you have your cleanse planner, you can go ahead and grab this. We'll be referring to this as we go along. You can kind of mark things off or make notes. If you don't have that, don't worry about that. I'll make sure that that gets sent out. I think I maybe didn't get that attached to yesterday's recording. So many things kind of like adding all those little pieces in. So make sure that goes out with today's recording, that you'll get that link in there again. So if you don't have it, don't worry about it. But there are some lists of different, oils and supplements, and some of those things are listed in there. So you can kind of take note of that as we go along. Okay, so going through these detox rituals, I want you to think of a concept. And this is from one of my coaches, Laura Jacobs. And she's this idea just keeps resonating with me, that really a detox, or really our healthy lifestyle, it simply means less of the bad and more of the good, right? It all boils down to less of the bad and more of the good. And so this is how we design our cleanse. This is how each of these steps come forward with us for that as well. So again, we're going to look at our pathways. We're going to look at the cleanse part of it, and we're also going to look at that nourishing or that replenishing side at the end of that. Okay, so the other aspect as we get going along, there's so many different tools available to us. I'm going to try to keep it simple because I don't want to overwhelm or throw too many things into the pot today, but keeping it simple for those that are, and we've got a lot of different stages or experience levels on our call today and in our group in general, right? And so a lot of the essential oil support and supplement support is available in basically 2 kits, right? So if you're brand new to a lot of this, the Healthy Habits or the Daily Habits kit gives you everything you need for a detox. If you're already doing that level of support, so if you're already taking a really good quality multivitamin and antioxidant support, then you can go that level deeper into the cleanse kit and using the endocrines and the GX Assist and those other products on that. If you haven't done the first step, don't step into the next, because it all comes down to opening those pathways and making sure they're open, right, in terms of where you're going. So we want to keep it simple. Simple is always better, right, when we do that. And so just kind of be aware that I'll be, speaking to both spectrums or both ends of that spectrum on the call, but take in or be okay with what the advice is ready for you at this stage. Okay, so establishing our pathways. So part of this is that opening of the doors, right, and the windows, and opening the gate to let the toxins out. So when we're cleaning things and you're pulling out toxins from different tissues and areas of the body, we don't want them to just get stuck somewhere else, because that's where we see detox, symptoms and reactions coming into place, whether that's skin rashes or headaches or feeling flu-like symptoms, or any of that comes from our pathways and our doorways not being open. Okay, so we don't want to clean, so we want to be able to clean out that trash after we've kind of moved it along. So think of this as maybe you're doing the dishes, like maybe after Thanksgiving dinner, whatever, you're doing the dishes, but you forgot to unplug the dishwasher or dishwater afterwards, and you're left with that sink of just muddy, icky goo, right? That's what happens if we don't have those pathways open and clear for us. We don't have access to that drain to pull. Okay. But part of establishing pathways comes even before that. Okay. So, and we alluded to this back on our very first call. And we've been doing this actually all along on our calls so far. And that's taking things slow, right? So we want to establish the foundation or establish trust. So a key concept in both restorative yoga and then a lot of somatic practices is to allow the nervous system to settle before we start anything, right? So for those familiar too with the Symphony of the Cells program, or where we're layering essential oils on our back for different systems, different system support within the body, the first thing we do is put frankincense on your shoulders, right? And inhale it from our hands. Okay. And this is to calm the nervous system down so that you can be open to heal, right? It's all in that establishing that pathway or establishing trust. Okay. So the things that we have to do that, we have our frankincense oil is basically the oil of trust, right? It helps us to be in that state where we can be receptive and open. We have our balance blend, which is another great variation on that. And just allowing for us to be in this place where our nervous system can settle and be there, right? So ways to do this is simply to breathe it in, right? So our olfactory system, or our sense of smell, has a direct connection, or this high power plug-in to your limbic system, which is your stress response system. So I'm touching the back of my neck here, and this is where it lives. It's right in that limbic system area of support. Okay, so this is a really good place to put those oils, is to put it back on there. So frankincense, we mentioned a balance. Basically any tree oils in general. Sandalwood's really good. Hinoki, for those of you that may have got that in your monthly order last month and as your free oil and don't know what to do with it, this is another great oil for that one as well. Okay. Other, tools for other practices for establishing trust is our meditation practice. Are just taking a simple yoga pose, something like child's pose, to kind of calm us through that. Any gentle breathing practices that we have are really great for that as well. Just like that simple one that we did, or just, putting your hands on your belly and just noticing your breath. Any of those things establish trust. And being prepared, right? So as we take our time this week and set up what we want to do, where we want to be, there's no rush in this. There's no value in rushing. So this being prepared is part of this process and how we do this. Okay, and going backwards. So opening our pathways, essential oils to help us do this side of it is our cleansing oils. And we talked about that yesterday, and those different oils or citrus oils that we can put in our water to help start that and get that, internally to our systems of our body. We could also use some direct liver support on that, which is geranium. It's great for our liver. Cilantro is one that's really good for heavy metal detoxing. Polychrysum is another one for heavy metal chelation coming into that. And then we also have our clove, our thyme, our frankincense, our lemongrass, and our zendocrine blend that combines a lot of those ones together within that. So looking at my notes, making sure I'm not forgetting something. I tend to start, forgetting those and just ripping off my memory. So a lot of these are listed too in your planner, right? So you don't need to take, copious notes on this. They're in that planner. And then besides the liver, one of the really interesting supports in the cleanse kit is DDR prime, which is a mixture of that thyme and that frankincense and a bunch of those different deeper cleansing oils. And what a lot of those oils do is they support cellular detoxification. So what that means is that every cell in your body has a purpose, right? It has a life cycle. And when it's done, it gets recycled, right? Optimally, it gets recycled, right? And as we grow older, this recycling process doesn't work as well as it used to, right? On that, which kind of leads to some of these concepts of aging and diseases of aging, or challenges of aging. But what we want to do is support them to do what they need to do. So an example for this, I was just chatting with my mom this morning, And my daughter was here trying on some of her old clothes. And she pulled out this shirt that she can't let go of, but it's got, stains on it, right? Those stains that we get from like perspiration, another, detox reaction, right? Um, but she couldn't let it go. And it's like sometimes, Mom, we have things that have served us. They've served us well. We've enjoyed wearing it. And it's okay just to, let it go. We need to let things, out of our bodies again. And that's our whole cellular detox. If we don't do that, we end up with a closet like my mom's. I could, you know, move my camera here and show you. It's really full. It's hard to find anything in there. It's not really functioning properly anymore because there's so much stuff in there, right? And perhaps our own closets get that way. That's another part of our whole detox, seasonal cleansing, as we can look at after the house, right? But so we want to be able to have those detox reactions do that, right? And so that's another, concept or layer of our cleansing to kind of come in there, but on a whole cellular, not just our closets and our physical space, but within our body, those cleanse oils that do that help our cells to let go and to be recycled properly, right? Um, and you can think of this, I like to think of, so DDR prime, I started this, some of those things I started in the cleanse one time, and then I've kept going, since then, because it is one of those preventative healthcare things that I do on a daily basis in terms of my cellular health, right? With that view of we can take pills now or we can take them later. Right. And the pills we take now as preventative healthcare have side benefits instead of the side effects of the things when things get really serious and we need something else later. Right. Okay, a bit of a pathway on that, but another little aspect of here is detoxing through the lungs, right? And a few people have mentioned to me in this kind of season that they've got some some congestion, some heaviness going on through that. Another big area for us to detox is that the lungs. And so our easy air or breathe blend, cardamom. So a lot of our fall spices play a really big role in our whole detoxing system through the body, right? So some of them are heating up, and so they're helping our digestive system to process, and some of them are actually clearing stuff out within that. I tend to reference a lot of essential oils over the spices simply because the essential oils are more concentrated, right? So we need a lot less, and they make more of a difference, right? They're really amplifiers to all the good things that you already do again. And we can use them to amplify a lot of other things. And other ways to open our pathways would be through yoga, right? Through walking, our walking that we started on our first day through this, right? Just getting some movement happening within the body. Running, right? If you don't feel like running, we get that, sweat aspect. Anytime we're like releasing sweat is another, those detox pathways being open. Right. If you don't want to sweat by doing that physical exertion, you can have a steam shower or a really lovely deep Epsom salt bath. Kind of get that sweat, that release coming through that. Another way we open pathways is through oil massage, one of my favorite little Ayurvedic techniques that we do. And this helps to get our lymphatic system moving, right? So we want to get that lymph moving, just everything kind of moving within the body. Okay. And looking at this from that concept of more of the good, right? So during this initial phase of opening pathways, we want to be really presencing more of the good, and that would be our multivitamins, making sure we're being consistent with those, our omega-3s, our probiotics, our prebiotics, our fibers, and presencing our healthy food. So hopefully, as we've been going along this week, you've already kind of been making those choices as to, do I need this? Do I not need this? It's just all that level of awareness starts that to have that coming in there. Okay. And really the key on this one too is our probiotics. We want to have more of the good bugs built up within there before we start that cleanse phase. So we're kind of like building everything up, and then we're going to be targeted support as we step into our cleanse phase. Okay. So this is the less of the bad. So letting go of what no longer serves us. And basically, sometimes it might be starving the sugar. It might be starving us of social media aspects, all different types of things coming within that. Okay. So the oils that help us let go, and this is an interesting side, is we have some oils emotionally that can help us surrender, right? And so a lot of this comes in those trees and these herbs that we were talking about earlier. Deep blue is a beautiful one for this. We think of it as kind of like that muscles. I've worked too hard in the garden, I worked too hard playing or working out, whatever that looks like for you. But it is also just that oil of just letting go and allowing yourself to be supported and be helped with something within that. Okay. So that's a great one to tap into on that aspect. Easy air is another one we talked about, just kind of letting go of things with the grief aspect and through there, and Siberian furs and a lovely one. There are lots that fall into this category, but those are just a couple of the top, the ones that come to mind. And these way you'd simply apply them, to those areas of where you're feeling it, where you're feeling stuck within your body. Okay, letting go physically within this, right? So like internally, we're looking at those citrus oils, our Zendocrine blend coming into that. And you can take internally or you can apply that to your liver on that as well. Okay. Letting go with our supplement supports, that looks like this GX Assist, which has a lot of really high power. So those oils we looked at for cleansing, the clove, the different aspects of that are all in that GX Assist. They're going to target the bad bugs in your digestive system, right? So this is not one that you would use as your first holistic support because it is pretty strong. We want to start first with just simple lemon water or citrus water coming in. But or other antioxidant support. So our alpha CRS from the doTERRA side is a really good antioxidant. Even the deep blue polyphenols, if you're taking those for muscle support, they are really good antioxidant support. There's lots of really great stuff in there that supports that. And so those are ones that start smaller, and then we step into more the cleanse supports on the GX Assist if your body is ready for that on that aspect. Okay. And that's one that we would typically take GX for a period of 10 days, and then we stop. Right. So we want to give that targeted support to those bad bugs. And while you're doing that, you want to be cutting out any of the sugars. So sugars and the carbs from your diet that are going to be fueling that within there. Okay. So it kind of goes hand in hand in that. We're going to talk a lot more about diet tomorrow when we come into that and putting all our pieces together, right? So other ways that we can let go and surrender is some detox yoga, like lots of twists happening within that. It can be, active yoga, or it can be restorative or yin yoga. All of that applies. It's just a really good way to get that movement, get that whole lymphatic flow happening within the body. Dry brushing is another great one to do within the body. Now, dry brushing, there's like a warning label on that comes with anybody who is vata dominant, that it can be too aggravating on the nervous system within that, because it is a more it is one of those more cleansing practices, I guess, for lack of a better word. So if you're our vata nature, you're going to be, you wouldn't do this every day practice, but maybe you might do it during a cleanse. Detox bath is another great one. So the Epsom salts are going to help draw that out. You can put other detox oils in there as well to help draw that out of your system. Oil pulling is one that you can swish the oil around in your mouth. We go through a whole session on that in the Flourish Cleanse, going through that. And even just sleep, like presencing sleep during your cleanse is a way that we detox and let things go and coming into that. So maybe you design your cleanse, and we look at that tomorrow. If sleep is one of your challenges, maybe it's all around sleep hygiene and making that your priority. So there's all different ways that we can kind of put this together for us. Okay. And then coming into our replenish area. So again, we're looking at more of the good, right? This is where we transition back to our normal, and we look at what stays, what's going to stay with us at this period in time. So some of the tools and the rituals that we tap into this is the essential oils that I love when this is Aroma Touch. This to me is just replenishment in a bottle. It's kind of called the relaxation or spa blend. You can diffuse it and it feels like you're living in a spa. And the oils that are in that and the herbs that are in that Ayurvedically are all about building up your deep energy reserves, or in Ayurveda, we call that your ojas, right? So it's that nectar of life, bringing that in. And then our balance blend. There's lots of replenishing oils. Any of our florals are deeply replenishing coming into that. So that's really great ones to have. within that. So you can use these as your oil massage practice. Within that, you can apply them topically, you can diffuse them, you can put them in your bath, however those work for you on that. Okay. Um, in terms of our supplements for replenishing, we're going to go back to preferencing the PB Assist or the PB Restore. So if you haven't heard yet, doTERRA has totally redone their probiotic, and it is super boosted compared to what it used to be. It used to be good, and now it's like back to being like super great, because things go back and forth. What we've learned medically changes, and I love that doTERRA didn't give us a bunch of new products this year. They just went back and made a few of ours really good and a lot better. So by the time we're into the replenishing stage of our cleanse, that should be available for us to purchase that new version of the Restore coming into that. But you also want to look at presencing your multivitamins, making sure you're on track with that through the whole cleanse. Like, that's important. Your omega-3s, that's just pure nourishment. So the word for oil in Sanskrit, which is the language of Ayurveda, is sneha, right? And sneha is a word that means oil, but it also means love, right? So just think of your omega-3s as just giving love to your joints, love to your brain, love to all those systems within your body, right? You can keep up with that antioxidant support on a daily basis. That's hopefully one that will just keep with you going forward. And I had to put a little plug in here for turmeric, because turmeric is such a healing, replenishing herb and oil. So again, Ayurvedically, super important for us, but on a healing basis and a nurturing basis, that's super great for us to tap into that support as well. Okay. Other supports, basically, this is an excuse to keep pampering you, right? This is an excuse to keep up with those things, to keep saying no to the things that you no longer want to do, to keep giving yourself that excuse that, oh, sorry, still on a cleanse, I'm going to go for a bath, right? Or whatever that means. You're just going to go like lie down for a moment, or do whatever your cleanse practice. You can roll out your yoga mat and just lie there, right? Get some comfy bolsters and blankets around you and do that. It's your excuse to keep up those fall walks and going for that, to keep up with your yoga practice, doing that, to take time to meditate. It's an excuse to stay in the community, right? Be part of that community that replenishes your soul and feeds your soul on that. Okay, so fall is our season for self-care. So within the Flourish coaching, this replenish season is going to just keep going. So we end off with our cleanse, and it flows all the way into November, looking at oil massage and a lot more detail on that, and into our holiday joy planner, and going into that holiday season. How are we replenishing ourselves before we hit that busyness of the holiday season through that? And then we're actually going to take this all the way into January and look at what does that look like after that as well. So we'll talk more about that next day, but and I've been talking a lot. I've been lots of information to get through on that one. So I'm going to open up the floor to you guys, and any questions, any ahas, any suggestions that you guys have found that work really well on any of those three parts of your class.
Yes, Krista.
Yeah.
On the, sorry, I'm just looking. So when we come back off the cleanse, like how long is the cleanse for? 10 days or?
Typically we do 10 days of that deeper dive in the cleanse. Yeah. And it can be, it depends on your schedule. So that we'll look at tomorrow in terms of studying that out. But yeah, it can be anywhere between that 7 to 10 days.
Okay. And with that, you mentioned at the end that it's good to have the PB Assist or the PB Restore or both. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between the both of those?
So what's happened is the PB Restore is replacing our PB Assist. Okay.
Oh, so, it is replacing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before we had like the adult version of PB Assist, and then we had the little kids version of the little pixie sticks.
Yeah.
So now the pixie sticks are for adults and kids, the new format, and everything that was in the old PB Assist, like the old probiotic, is in the stick. And then they've added a whole bunch of new strains stuff to the new PB Assist. So one is directly gut related, right? The other one is for the microbiome all through our body. So it's skin related, it's brain related, it's going to be sleep related, all of those different strains coming
And
into
that's
that
the
with the
PB
restore.
Restore. It's
Yeah.
been so instead of PB Assist, then there's PB Restore. And
Yeah.
what if you still have available on, like in my collection, PB Assist? Can you just use it up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
totally. Yeah, it's still good. It's still great to use. It's just that, and we don't have the ability to buy the new one yet, right? So it's
Okay.
coming, but not today.
Okay. So I think I had the other question is the Zendoctrin Oil Soft Gels Complex. Is that, I don't think I've seen that before. Is that something new?
So there's two. So there's soft gel and there's a complex. So the
Oh,
soft
okay.
gel is simply
Okay.
the endocrine oil in a capsule form. The complex
Okay.
goes into detoxifying herbs, right? So it's not oil
Okay.
based. It's an herb based format for that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I think that's it. Oh, and the prebiotics, you obviously don't deter has those, and the fiber, and then the PS assist.
Yeah, so the prebiotics, like in the probiotic capsule is prebiotics, but then there's a
Yeah.
lot of foods that we can use as prebiotics as well, right?
Okay.
And so we can tap into both of those.
Yeah.
Fiber doTERRA does have a really good form of fiber that's not overly sweet. It's a really gentle form of fiber. So if you think of fiber
Okay.
before as like the M brand one that's
Yes.
kind of like a scouring pad through, the
Yes, it
doTERRA
is.
is a
Yeah.
lot more gentle
Yeah.
formula through that. So it's just been a lot
Okay.
softer on our systems to pardon the pun on that one.
And the PS
And
assist. Yeah.
the it probably should have said either GX or PB assist. So
I think it was PS assist.
well, I might have made a typo on that one. I'll have to go back and
Oh,
check.
okay. So what is
So
it
there's
supposed to be?
so GX is the
GX.
cleanse. Yeah. So that
Yes.
is a essential oil based capsule that is the high powered cleansing oils to cleanse any of the bad gut bacteria can come into that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's recommended for someone who's already maybe taking the supplements and the program or somewhat of the program, but maybe that's a little bit stronger, is it, for
It's
cleansing?
it's it's the strong cleanse. It's the go deep variation of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So not something I would have a brand new person do.
Oh,
But
no,
you've
no,
been
no.
doing the supplements for a long time. And
Yeah, I've been doing the lime water and the supplements for quite a while.
yeah, yeah. So that might be something and depends too on what you're looking for. So those are those
Yeah.
pieces that we'll add together tomorrow on our call
Okay.
as to what do you want to go deep on? What is your body
Yeah.
asking you to go deep on? And what do you have time and resources to go deep on with, right? So
Yes.
it all kind of gets put together. So this is that other like little smorgasbord piece of the pie coming in of different ideas to kind of get you guys thinking. But there's a reason why we did yesterday first, right? And looking at what does your body need, right? And what's available to you for, emotional energy
Thank
and,
you for clarifying.
physical energy. Mm-hmm. Good. Any other questions, thoughts, ideas on that?
Can you go back to when you said you've been on the program and then when you step it up? So are those products available?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me stop the share and go back into that. So this is, and it's an easy way to get them. Like you can always just kind of create your own little program within that as well
I
too.
see. So based on what we determine at the end of the week, kind of where we're at, then we build something. There's not like a kit that we just can buy.
There is, yeah. So this is so for any new clients of mine, I had them start on this first, the Healthy Habits Kit. And that's just this will kickstart a cleanse, right? Because of the high-powered multivitamins, like your body's actually getting fuel for a change, and the antioxidants that are in that alpha CRS. This will start. We always start it really small. We start with like one capsule a day and build it up to the full dosage because your body is going through that process. We want to, we don't want to throw a bunch of stuff at our pathways without it having time to open up, right? So that's step one. So you can buy that as a kit. Whether you're a brand new person to doTERRA, it comes as an enrollment kit where you save money, and that's a thing called the Healthy Habits. If you already have a membership, it's called Daily Habits, so you can get that, okay? And then we have the cleanse kit, and this is available through the US side because a couple of these are not approved. I don't think we have GX Assist yet in Canada, and maybe not Zendocrine Complex. I got to go back and check on that. The last time we did a cleanse, we didn't have it, so it might be, I don't think it's there yet. Some of these deeper products just take a lot more time to get approved through the Canadian system, right within that. And so you can buy it bundled together, so you get a little bit of a savings when you do that. And so it's your monthly vitamins, that LLV, plus it has the GX, but you can also buy all of these separately, right within
the values in the kit, though, right?
The value, there is a discount in getting it as
yeah,
a kit.
because with the we talked about this winter with having 2 places. I just want to leave, like, I'm overstocked on vitamins because I forgot to shut off that auto ship, so I'm good for like a year.
Yeah,
kidding.
So you might not need it, is what I'm saying. Is you might be able to just order. If you don't need it, then you can just order the products that you need, that you do need, right?
No, because actually, I want to just, I don't want to remember the last time I ran out. I fell on my face pretty much. Like I just thought, how much difference could these possibly make? It's not going to bother me. I'll be okay. And then,
we don't notice that they're working because they're so subtle until we stop.
Until you fall on your face.
Until you fall on your face. Yeah.
Quite literally.
Hopefully
So then,
literally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did twice. So the cleanse kit, then, so at the end of the week, then we're like, as you were sharing, by the end of the week, we'll say, okay, here's kind of the direction you're going. Like, we do the thing, the outline, and then we can wait to order at that time.
You can wait to order at that time, or if you want to jump the gun and that's what you want, then these will be the products that I would suggest within the cleanse, depending on the level of what you want to do.
Wait till it comes up in the course instead of like doing what she always does.
Well, it's just tomorrow, so you'll be okay. Right.
I'm there's some power within that.
Yeah, it's good to wait.
Right. Oh, you also said Friday, though. You said we'd be on the call on Friday.
Yeah, so there's a bonus call on Friday that we'll do, depending on what's kind of coming up in this group and what we want to do. I've got a couple of ideas what we'll do with that. If you have if anybody has anything, this would be a good time to like pop in the chat as to what do you want to go deeper on, what you want to learn more about. That would be a good opportunity from that. And Caitlin, I see your comment in there as well about the word for oil in Sanskrit is sneha. So SNEHA is sneha. Okay, and so if you're getting sick, so that's a really good, we should talk more about some of those detox symptoms. I will put that on my list. So if we've done cleanses before and we're already getting sick from them, or we're seeing a rash come out, or we're seeing something come out, sometimes these things are just our body getting rid of stuff, and sometimes a symptom isn't bad, right? But sometimes a symptom is not something we want to live with, or we just don't have time for that symptom, right? So sometimes when I've done cleanses, and I detox myself from coffee, because I will admit to a coffee addiction on that one, that I'll get the headaches. And if I know that that's something that's going to happen and I can't handle it, there's some seasons where I've elected not to go off coffee, or to switch to decaf or something like that, to modify what that is, because I wanted to go deeper in a different area. There's some seasons in my cleanse where I want to detox myself from coffee, right? And get rid of this addiction to that. And so I will choose that's where that I may get, headaches, or I may, phase it in super, super slowly, that you don't get that detox reaction through that. And so when you typically do cleanses and you start to get these flu-like symptoms, or you don't have time for that, like, and who does have time to get, who has time to get sick regularly, other than like notwithstanding a flu-like symptom that we give ourselves when we do a cleanse, right? So what we would do is we would dial it back, right? We would dial back. So maybe your body doesn't need that intensity in this moment. maybe subtle is better, and you'll get better results from going a little bit, not shallower, but a little bit gentler into what you choose to do as a cleanse, right? And so looking more at, opening the cleanse pathways, right? So sometimes if I know that I've got a bunch of stuff going on, I will start to take my Zendocrine complex and my Zendocrine soft gels a month before the cleanse starts, right? And I'll start opening that up so that I've got all of those systems opening, all those channels open before I even, start to do any work on the cleansing or the letting go aspect of it.
So then
If
part
that
of the
helps.
cleanse too then is also changing what we're eating.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I should eat all the things that I'm going to not be able to eat right now before Thursday or tomorrow, and
That's
then
that's one philosophy. but, yeah, but then you may have to take an 8-day or an 11-day cleanse instead of your 10-day cleanse. Right? But it's up to you, right?
and then it's okay to be continue to be do my intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's another option for you might want to just step into, for someone who's not familiar with intermittent fasting, you might want to step into that as part of your cleanse. For someone who does intermittent fasting, you might want to go deeper on that experience. Longer. Yeah.
The funny thing is I crave food more now, like that filling. So it'll be an interesting,
Yeah. Yeah. Or you keep it the same and you go deeper in different areas. I don't suggest going deep into every single aspect of our cleanse, right?
No worries.
And you can think of that. Yeah. You can think of that too, of like, okay, I want to do all this yoga. I want to like totally like get my body, in shape. But you can't do that if you've majorly restricted yourself on food or your intermittent fasting, schedule. You simply don't have the energy for that. But that happens across the board. It's not just that physical capacity, it's also our emotional, our mental, our time. We don't have time to, make all of our own food and do all of this and do all of this. Like, you know, that's, we're just going to run into it. That's just going to be a failure, right? And we don't want that. We want to have that success. And quite often, we don't need to go as deep as we think we do, right? Quite often, gentler gets us better results. So I always think about, I did this yoga class with a group of teens, and we were doing back bends. And so a lot of them were dancers and gymnasts. And so back bend to them is the full-on wheel pose where like your hands and your feet are on the ground and you've got this like big, beautiful bow in your body, right? And so a few of the kids did that, right? It's with a teen high school class. So a few are like that, and a few of them don't do any exercise at all, right? And so we looked at that aspect of doing it. But then we stopped that and just simply, basically like took a rolled up blanket on the mat, or you could roll up your mat and lay over it. And we simply put a small support under the heart and lay down on that for about probably 7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, by the time I got them all into that. And then those students that went back and did the big full on, their poses were even more open, right? They got a bigger opening, not from pushing and doing it and doing it and doing it, but by simply relaxing and letting go. So we actually open our body. So whenever we're doing something, physically hard or pushing at it, we're actually creating resistance in our body to do that. And when we can soften and just gently go into it, we're opening those pathways and we're able to actually go deeper. If that makes sense.
Well, I know what and intermittent fasting to me, in at first it was like I was starving myself, but I wasn't because though for me it's given me more energy. I don't feel that bloat. And then when I did eat for the first little while, I ate whatever I wanted. I did because I was already restricting myself on the timing, so I just was being gentle and gave myself permission. The only thing I find with the vitamins, and you and I have talked about this, I'm trying some different things, is that, and that's when to take them, because if I take them too late in the day, I end up that I'm too wired. So and if I take them on an empty stomach, you have a stomach like a garbage can, you told me, so you can take them whenever. So I think I think like I don't take that one that makes you more speedy. I don't need that in the morning.
Yeah.
But save those ones for the days where, to what you said, sort of planning a week, or if you're going to be tired, I can take that one on its own. And even if I take like on intermittent fasting, I wonder, does the vitamins, do they break the fast?
They shouldn't.
Okay.
Because they're not carb based, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of intermittent fasting, it's different clocks, different circadian rhythms within our body, right? And one of our circadian rhythms is tied into blood sugar response, which is carbs. So any sugars or any carbs that break down within the body. And so, and everybody's a little bit different, and your body changes over time. So the more you do an intermittent fast, the more you get a healthy blood sugar response. Let's go there. The more you have a healthy blood sugar response, the less you'll react to things, right? So that's another aspect of the cleanse that we'll be looking at throughout this fall season, or, aspect of the cleanse or aspect of our, continual growth path on this thing is our blood sugar responses, and how do we properly moderate those, right? So that's, one aspect of the cleanse that we could step into is just looking at that belief, right, of that in your body. But for some, having a cup of coffee will give them a spike, even though there's no carbs in there and no sugar in there. But over time, like after a couple of weeks of doing intermittent fasting, that doesn't give you the spike anymore because you've lessened that insulin like reactivity within your body. Okay. And there's different lengths of time, and there's a lot of really good research on intermittent fasting that suggests you should mix it up, that it's not always the same every day.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where some of our cleanse periods can come in, where you might choose to go deeper if that's a part of your practice. Then that's intermittent fasting.
Well, I yearn for that feeling to be where I was at when I first started, where I just had this, everything was equalized. Like there was no spikes, where now I'm like, and it's kind of fun actually, like to see how disconnected. It's not bad, but just how different it is and how much energy it takes. And,
Yeah. And part of this lifestyle, stress is huge, right? It's going to impact a lot of things.
Stress.
So your life has changed a little bit, Sheila, since you first started.
True.
Right?
So I need more. And so then we stay on the same vitamin sort of protocol, and then we're adding to it and maybe changing something within that, what we're taking. Is that the idea?
Yeah. So that baseline, so if you were to look at, I think I'm still screen sharing here. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still there, yeah.
That first kit of what's going on there, that's just basic all the time. Right? That doesn't change whether you're on a cleanse or not on a cleanse.
The vitality
those would be
all of those.
The Lifeline Vitality, and then our citrus water. So Lifeline Vitality or citrus water, and then whatever we're doing for grounding support, whether that's frankincense or balance, or those would be things that should be in our daily routine all the time.
Well,
and I would argue frankincense would be in that as well, and maybe lavender. Basically, everything on that first kit is our daily stuff that just keeps
right on that side. Well, I have to share. It's funny how the oils find me, because I haven't seen the Breathe one in a long time, and I got oils all over the place. And this morning or last night, I'm like, oh, what's this one? And I haven't seen it for a long time. I don't even know where it showed up. I think it kind of ran into the room or something. And I smell it. I'm like, oh, this is what I need. Like, it was so cool, because for a while there it was bugging me, so I hit it on myself. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and they do, and that's part of our intuition and tapping into what do we need, right, within that.
Okay, good. So it's doing it right, what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have any questions, ideas, comments? Is this too much? Enough?
I think it's great. From like when I first started to, like, I just love how it's layered on, and I've missed sort of catching on to some that you've done. Right.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Right. So Renata's got a good comment in our chat about spikes of energy, right? And having that long sustained energy instead of this like going up on this little roller coaster of things, right? And so that's what we're looking for, is we want to have that sustained, not those over highs, not because that's going to lead to that over low, but just that energy for doing what we want to do, right, in the moment. And not crashing after lunch or after we eat. Those are signs that something is off, right, within our bodies. Being able to do that. We should have the energy for what we do in a day, and we should have the presence of mind to go to bed when we need to, right? And to listen to that rest when we need to. Yeah. And that is a sign, right? That if we're craving something, and that's another a whole aspect of here that is in your planner, that I don't have it, I didn't list it on here, but your craving support, right, is another great way that we can use some of our essential oils for that within a cleanse. And that's where fiber comes in as well, is helping with our craving support. It's a really important aspect of that.
Did
So
I
if
miss
you're
the
listening,
plan? I apologize. Did I miss it?
It should have been in an email. I'll make sure it comes into the email for today. It might have, I think I attached it to one set of emails and not the other. So I will make sure that gets sent out today. So if you're listening to this on the recording or on the Facebook group and you are not getting those emails, make sure you sign up with the link in the comments for the Fall Cleanse week. And that planner will get sent out to you with that for sure. Okay.
So the planner is oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, here's Fall Cleanse planner. I see it. Yeah. So it came on the October 3rd. I got it. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think Karen, I don't know that I got it on there yesterday. There was a lot going on yesterday in the house here, so I'll make sure that it's there today going forward. It is such a blessing to be here with my mom and my daughter, but sometimes it's a little busy. what's going on in life, right? Which is good. That's how seasons happen. All right, so lots of great stuff today, and hopefully tomorrow we'll like put this all together. It'll start to make sense in on that, and then we'll wrap up any little pieces on Friday, and I'll have some extra special stuff for you on Friday that we can go through there as well. Okay, great to see everybody, and we will put it all together tomorrow. Looking forward to that.